And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Quebedeaux's Cajun Cafe on Highway 165 in Pineville. It's the home of the Bryant Bell Show, and Bryant's not here, but he's on his way.
Does that mean I eat his...
You hear that? The party is here at Quebedeaux's, and the rest of the folks just showed up. So y'all come on in. Bryant Bell is delayed because he's being interviewed by KALB.
Television interview.
That's right.
So I get to eat his chicken cracklings?
Until he shows up, you can have all the cracklings you want. So, and then once he shows up and he says there's no cracklings, then I'm going to blame it at you. I'm going to point at you. So Randy James, folks, here at Randy O'Neill, excuse me.
I go by both.
Are you Randy James or Randy O'Neill?
Yes.
Yes, for the stadium announcing, I think we go by Randy James.
Yeah, it works. Everybody knows me by both.
Randy James.
Everybody knows that guy.
But Randy O'Neill, the voice of the Pineville High School Rebels, is here with me this afternoon at Quebedeaux's, and I am so glad that you are, because I miss hearing you give us the, who's got that rebel spirit? And
absolutely. I won't yell it now because
right now.
we're on this, and I don't want to scare folks in Quebedeaux's here.
The only thing I'm worried about, though, is I'm listening to my voice and I'm listening to your voice.
Yeah.
You've got a radio voice. I don't know if everybody's ever told you that.
I might ought to look into that.
You might. If you don't.
I've been talking.
If this PA gig doesn't work out for you, you might want to talk to somebody about radio.
Hey, who knows? But but man, I tell you what, it's it's great. Here we are. We're going into week Number 9.
Number 9.
Number 9. And, I get asked all the time, out and about, as I'm sure you do. Everybody's asking, like, man, what about the Rebels?
Yep.
And I'm going, like, and I said, we're good. And we're on our way.
Yep.
And the thing is people say, well, what do you mean? And I said, when you see it from a perspective as we do,
that's right.
At home, I'm in the press box, as you are in the press box at all games. Many of the away games I get to go, and I'm on the sidelines with the team. And Nathan, it's one thing from the perspective in the press box. When you're on the sideline with the guys, yep, you see a whole different perspective. It takes you back to like, wow, I remember this. And the thing is you see that perspective, and you're down there with the guys. And one of the things they go like, well, what's with the Rebels? I said, the Rebels are okay.
That's right.
And I said, and if you see the games as we see them, they don't give up. And they are playing against, by far, arguably some of the toughest competition in the state of Louisiana. I mean, every Friday, game after game, we're going up against, prospective D1 college talent. And that's not to take anything away from our guys, because we got a number of guys that the colleges are knocking on their doors this year, which that's a telltale sign of what we have going on.
Well, I've got a graphic up on the screen that has the top 10 teams in the state of Louisiana in Class 5A, and 3 of them are in our district.
Yeah.
3 of the top 10 from around the state are in District 2 5A, and 2 of them are still undefeated. So you want to talk about playing with a powerhouse, and we're playing with them.
And we are. And the thing is, aside from the score, our guys are playing with these guys.
That's right.
And, and they're hearing it after the game. It's like, you guys played your hearts out. And, there's no hands on your hips. There's no going to the sidelines, hanging your head. It's like, no, they play to the final whistle.
Absolutely.
And that's a testament to what we're building. I've been saying it for the last couple of years now. Something special is happening on Rebel Hill.
You have said that many times. There's something special on the hill, on Rebel Hill. And you've also made a comment about the sunset view every Friday night.
DC Bill Bates Stadium in Sandy Canyon, we have a tradition that when the sun sets across Bulow Lake, we do our sky appreciation moment. And
courtesy of
the Bible High School administration. Right. We got to give Dr. Carpenter a plug in there with that. He jokingly told me that the first time we did it, and I'm going like, I'm using it, and I'm using it.
That's right.
But it is a beautiful setting. We've been to some amazing stadiums across the state following the Rebels over the past several years, but there's no other place like what we've got at Pineville High School on a Friday night.
Well, I'll tell you, we were last week up in West Monroe, and my son was with me, and he was in awe of that stadium. There's any stadium that has an elevator to get to the top of the press box is nice. But he talked about the view that we have, and he's like, I like our stadium. I mean, that's impressive, no doubt about it. But DC Bill Bates, beautiful stadium, and Sandy Canyon, as you often refer to it, the original name from many years ago, and so we're looking forward to being back out there 2 weeks from now for senior night with Ouachita. This week we've got a little road trip up the road to a small town called Ruston.
A little Ruston, Louisiana, the future home of Buc-ee's in Louisiana, by the way. If you need an excuse to go to Ruston, that's a good one. But Ruston, if I'm not mistaken, defending state champions.
That's right.
And I believe a Select 1, if I'm not mistaken.
And what's crazy is even with the 2 losses they have, they're ranked number 6 in the state because of who they had the losses to, Ash and I forget the other loss, but the Neville, was it Neville?
I believe, yeah.
I mean, you're crazy schedule. Well, look, this is the Bryant Bell Show. And Bryant Bell is not in this seat, but he's about to be because he's walked into the door, and I think he's enjoying the camaraderie of the folks who are here. But, yeah, come on in, Coach. Put me in, Coach, or put in the coach.
Put me in, Coach.
All right, he's going to pull that headset on, and we've been talking about you, and now we get to talk with you. You know, it's kind of like they talk about at funeral homes. It's better to talk with you, better to be talked to than talked about.
I was enjoying your singing just a second ago.
Oh, come on now. All right, well, we'll get that headset set. When it gets in the box over the nights, sometimes it gets crunched up like it is. Do you like leaving that one ear off, or you'll figure it out?
Does this one cover up? Oh, okay.
It will if you stretch it down.
My football headset, this ear is uncovered.
Do you like it uncovered like that?
Fine.
Okay. Well, Coach Bryant Bell is in the house along with some Pineville players. Glad you guys are here tonight. We're going to be talking about some of our folks who have made a difference, our lineman of the week that is sponsored by Express Pros. We'll talk about the one you had one job award. We'll talk about our player of the game, sponsored by Security Sporting Goods, and talk about what that play was. We'll also bring you, we have the play of the game by, the cool play of the game by Southern Air, and then the player of the game by Security Sporting Goods. I'm going to get them all out there, Randy.
Right. Yep.
These are called live reads.
They're there. Live reads and the bullet points. You need the bullet points, as we say.
And all this is, there's no notes in front of me, so I'm flying without a net. Coach, thank you for coming. You were a little delayed because KALB came out this afternoon. Tell us about that.
Yeah, they came out and interviewed one of our players, the ACA Athlete of the Week for the area.
Good.
I think it's a surprise, so I won't
so
say
we're not
his
going to
name
say?
yet.
Okay.
But it's an honor to have them out. It's an honor for our one of our players to be recognized as that, amongst that entire area, entire regional recognition. So
well, I was noticing, I don't have the stat in front of me, I'm sorry, but Aiden Tate is actually one of the top rushers in the state.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's who it is. I don't know who it is, but being one, and now he's played quarterback a lot the last few weeks,
right,
and still one of the top 20 rushers in the state.
Well, just because he's playing quarterback, we're going to make sure we don't take the ball out of his hands. He's still going to run it. So we've modified our offense just a little bit to meet him, and he's doing a good job there. But he went over 1,000 yards last week.
That's right.
Somebody told me, I don't know how accurate it is or not, but since 2009, it's the first 1,000-yard rusher.
15 years. That's great.
So, we're honored to have him there. And, Hakeem Mix is knocking on the door, too. So, but they're both doing really good for us.
Well, last week we were in your home stadium, I guess, the place where you did you ever have to run stadiums in that place?
Actually, in junior high, we ran stadiums. Our visitor side last week was the home side back then.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got more fond memories in that stadium than bad, but that running stadiums as a junior high kid was certainly not fun.
All right, we're out at Quebedeaux's Cajun Cafe on Highway 165 in Pineville. The Bryant Bell Show is here, brought to you by Quebedeaux's, along with their amazing cracklings. And Randy did eat some, I want you to know.
Well,
and I told him if they were all gone, I was going to blame him.
That's okay.
But we actually both ate some. But and you can come out and get your kids chicken cracklings. I mean, we're addicted to it's our crack. Yeah. But if you have a little Pineville Rebel gear on, ask for the special Rebel menu, and you'll get a wonderful choice of low-cost options, courtesy of Chef John Valenzuela and the entire Valenzuela family here at Quebedeaux's. Let's talk about the West Monroe game a little bit. I know there were some ups and there were some downs, and going into that game, you believe every single week you're going to be competitive. In that first half, we definitely saw a lot of really great competition from the Rebels. Our Rebels. Let me clarify.
Right. It was a good. In the past when we've gone there, we've always sort of played with them after kind of an asterisk after the first 5-6 minutes. It's always been like a tsunami came in and wiped us out at the beginning, and then once things stabilized, it was an okay game. But again, the score would be so out of whack. Nobody could tell. From looking at a stat line. But so that was kind of what I challenged them last week. Just withstand that initial surge, and our offense did a good job there right off the bat. Defense held tough off the bat and gave us a chance. And at halftime, it's a game. And, in this district, we know who and what we're playing, and that's what the challenge always is to get the game to halftime. Is step number one, and then after that, we'll hit the gas. And we've kind of stunk in the third quarter this year on offense, not defense. Defense has played great in the third quarter, so that's been addressed this week. It's been a point of emphasis to come out swinging in the third quarter, and we believe we have a good plan for that.
And looks like the special teams issues were taken care of. In fact, special teams was really good.
They were really good. We've returned the ball good all year, but we've had the fumble fingers on kick return, and I was glad to see us field the balls, 100% last week, and we've continued to work on it. So we did good one week doesn't mean job's done. So we're looking forward to a good week this week.
When Ty Headhunter Sanders gets the ball, his mom was looking at me like, "What?" That's the nickname I've given him when he's on defense, and so. But when he gets the ball, he can be a scary runner, and it's really good though. Kamari and Phillips, I think, had a return, and but also the kicking game was phenomenal. I mean, every kick was a great punt. I mean, every down, inside the red zone and putting them back inside the 5. I think on one of the punts.
Brennan Davis is a good punter. He has been for 2 years now, and he had probably his best punting game last week to make West Monroe have to go 95 yards, which they did maybe once or so, but our defense did a good job on stopping them, and we're going to need that same effort this Friday.
We forced a couple of turnovers, had some 3-and-outs on defense. I made the comment to Kevin Roberts, who was helping me with the color commentary, that Brennan was a candidate for player of the game, the way he was pinning them down.
He did really well. I was proud of our defensive front. If you look out there, it's like a height mismatch. You can just tell.
Gosh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we held tough with them. Reset the line of scrimmage and until they just wore us late, really late in the game. But again, that's the role of the offense, is to hold on to the ball and keep our defense off the field.
Well, they have 450,000 players, it looks like, when they're warming up. I mean,
I saw that in the warm-ups, from the perspective. I was at home Friday night, and of course being able to see this perspective on a full screen. And, I mean, that was like, my God, did they dress out the whole school?
That's what it looked like.
But talking about Brennan, and I mean, I thought my neighbors were going to start banging on the seal or the floors and knocking on the door, like going, "Hey, what's going on in there?" Because I'm jumping up and down. I mean, when he's pinning it down deep, and we're getting down there, and I'm just like, yes, and. But, it's not the same as being there, but still to get that perspective, what we're able to do from what you do on Fridays, it's great. And I urge more people, if you can't go to the ball game, you've got an opportunity to see it and get into it. But yeah.
Well, I tell them when we're at home, do not stay home and watch it on 446 Sports.
No.
Go to DCville-based Stadium.
Man.
But when we're on the road, I understand it. Not everybody can get off early and make the 2-hour drive, and so we're so happy to bring that and let people know what's happening and how proud they can be of the young men. We need to take a commercial break and let some of the sponsors have a little bit of airtime themselves. When we come back, I want to talk to you about the player of the game, the lineman of the game, and the play of the game. And I've told you about them, but I haven't told you who they are. So stick around with more from the Bryant Bell Show, live from Quebedeaux's Cajun Cafe on 165 in Pineville. Come on out. Hot chicken cracklings are available, and I even see some onion rings over there that look really good. We'll be right back right after this.
Yeah, so what happened out there tonight?
We struck out at home with leftovers, then we remembered walk-ons.
What effect did the situation have?
Spirit soared. Nick took on a burger. Jen obliterated her ribeye po' boy. And speaking of spirits, Laura even scored a real tasty cocktail. She needed that.
Any lessons learned today?
Yeah. Head straight to walk-ons.
Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers, and cocktails. Walk-ons for the win.
At the Panthers Stadium. In addition to customs, we also handle custom trophies, custom awards, custom vehicle. Give us a call. We handle projects large and small.
seen how everything from the world around us to the daily basis. That's why we all need someone in our corner while still watching out for our pocketbook. Your insurance. There's no better time than now to make sure you're properly covered and not pay too much. Our office, at your home, or your place to help you find peace of mind. If you're in need of your auto, home, or life, talk to at 318-WK or online at Talk to help you.
Our mobile banking app is changing how we bank. Things are getting easier, transactions are getting safer, and you have access 24/7. All the functionalities too, made easier to use anywhere, anytime, and more secure than ever. Simple, seamless, safe. Download our mobile app today.
Now is the best time to have your cataracts removed. It's a new deductible. Not seeing as well as you used to. Evaluation today. It's fully covered by insurances, including need a referral at Wallace. Our method of next generation cataract, the most affordable in the state. There's only focus. Vision Associates.
I just met you yet. I'll never give up. I guess it's half time and the other half's whenever it's right, you'll come up. And I know that we can be so amazing. And baby,
welcome back to Quebedeaux Cajun. I'll start to say Cajun Quebedeaux Cafe. It's Quebedeaux Cajun Cafe, Highway 165 here in Pineville. We're excited to have you here for the Bryant Bell Show. And the one and only Bryant Bell is here. We're talking about the fun stuff in between the commercial or during the commercial breaks, where we really are enjoying Pineville Rebel football this year, and it's been so much fun. This NASCAR offense, as I've dubbed it, this fast offense. You've slowed it down just a little bit with the quarterback change, but it's still a very fast-powered offense, a high-octane offense. And what do you like most about the change this year? Do you see it like affecting the mindset?
Definitely. I've said it before. I think I've said it on here before that I think our change in our offensive philosophy and our tempo, I think it's infiltrated our entire program. I think it's given our entire program from top to bottom more of a sense of urgency, more of a sense of be where you're supposed to be, when you're supposed to be there, more of a sense of just hurry up and get the job done and do it again. But it's certainly fun. It's fun to coach, and it's fun for these guys to play in, and I think the results speak for themselves.
Well, we've definitely seen some great results this year, and looking forward to even more as the season goes along. This week we'll be making the trip up to Ruston. But before we get there, let's talk just a little bit about the three kind of nominations that we make. It's the play of the game, the player of the game, and the lineman of the game. Southern Air sponsors the cool play of the game. Express Pros sponsors the lineman of the game, and Security Sporting Goods sponsors that player of the game. And so as we talk about these ones, you and I always, typically on Saturday, chat about it. You've had a chance to watch some film. Sometimes I'll nominate, and I'm grateful that you think I have a good idea every now and then, but I always defer to you because you know what you see. There are some intangibles sometimes that need to be rewarded that I might not see from the press box.
Right.
So what are some of those intangibles that you look for when you're thinking about these awards?
Well, I mean, one of the pillars of our program that, it's a word on our wall. We have 5 of them, and it's more than a word on our wall. It's what we live by, and one of those is effort. Nobody deserves really any recognition without great effort, to be honest with you. But effort and just just teamwork, just putting the team above self, and that's who we are, and it's who we have to be successful. And some of these recognitions are a result of that, But a lot of times, great effort and those things they lead to great results on the field as well that are measurable.
Well, I'm looking for a new sponsor, and I got to find one for the tough man of the game. Because I got a nomination that would have won it 2 weeks in a row, and that's number 15, Justin Rachel.
Yeah.
The hit that he took on that catch, I think in the second quarter, it may have been the first quarter, but we're driving down, and he gets this catch, makes the first down, and it looked like he got the fire knocked out of him. But he held on to the ball. I don't know how he did it.
Yeah.
And he was
and
down
that was
for a little while.
For us, too.
It was huge.
Justin's a tough son of a gun, and he
the tough son of a gun award. There you go.
I like it.
But my country came out there. But he's tough, and when we went out there to check on him on the field, he was worried that people were going to start asking about his head and concussions, and he said, "I'm all right. I got the wind knocked out of me." And our awesome trainer, Miss Ashley Holt, was like, "I don't know about that." He was like, "Yeah, I'm good." So. He wasn't coming out of the game, but
you have to if the trainer comes on. Coach comes on,
I mean, trainer supersedes the coach.
Right.
She's better at that. I played for Coach Showers. I've got the old finger trick. How many fingers am I holding up? If you got it right, you're good to go. But we've evolved past that a little bit.
Changed.
But Justin's tough. We couldn't do without him, and you're seeing him play some snaps at quarterback as well.
That's right.
That's when we want to play Aiden at running back and turn around and give him the ball, and just to have a nice solid backup plan in place, and you'll continue to see that. Justin's our Swiss Army knife.
Well, I was watching his dad standing and watching, obviously concerned for his son, and this is the second week in a row he did it with the pass that I thought was a touchdown last week that I had to go back and edit. Randy, I don't know if you heard about that. Where
against Neville,
against Neville, I called it a touchdown, and it wasn't, but I called it a touchdown, and then we ran for the touchdown. I called it the 2-point conversion.
And then it was the touchdown.
And that was the touchdown. I just completely blew that. I mean, maybe next year you'll get some quality PA guy. I mean, play-by-play guys. But I'm having fun, I can tell you that. But that's the second week in a row he got hit so hard and was down, and then when he got up, he pops up, and he's like, he wants everybody to know I'm okay. Nobody's going to help me off this field, and I'm super impressed.
He was really hurting. He was really not well when he popped up, but it was really a show to make sure that nobody had an idea to take him out of the game. And
the other guy was down for a while too.
He was.
The guy that hit him.
It's something I appreciate about him.
Well, I have a ton of admiration for that, for that level of play, and if I can find a sponsor for the tough son of a gun player of the game, we'll sponsor that each week. So, all right, well, let's talk about some of the players that we really would like to. This is a new one this year that we've started doing, and this is the Outstanding Lineman Award. And this week it is being awarded to number 71, Kelby Clayton on the offensive line. Tell us why you like Kelby for the Outstanding Lineman Award.
Well, our best run play against West Monroe, is just a power play, and that's where a backside guard pulls, and Kelby's he's gotten really good at that. Over half of our run plays that we have a pulling guard, and Kelby's the best pulling guard that we have, and without him, a lot of those running yards, those 1,000-yard rushing yards that we mentioned about Aiden having, he probably wouldn't be to 1,000 yards yet. Kelby's just he's all of our linemen have a role, and pulling and kicking out is Kelby's role, and he did it really good against West Monroe.
Well, and again, sometimes you go back and you do watch the play-by-play. You probably heard me when their offensive line came out. I was like, wow, those guys are big. I mean, it's like Nebraska corn-fed big.
That's exactly what they were. I was watching video. Their offense and defensive fronts were just like, oh my gosh, like these guys are strong. But
so for Kelby to be able to hold his own and actually open up the line for whether it was Mix or Aiden in the backfield, other guys that we recognized this year, Zach Tranchina the week before, Dalen Tatum, Brady Baden, Elias Sellers, Cameron Perry, and Dayton Bass these guys have all been recognized, and we do that because we feel like those are the folks who probably don't get the recognition they deserve. So I wanted to lead with that, and I appreciate you highlighting Kelby Clayton for us as the Lineman of the Week, brought to you by Express Employment Professionals. You had one job, and Kelby Clayton did it very well. The Player of the Week this week was a young man who was on the receiving end of some passes, and that is number 3, Matt Edwards, who brought down was a sure-handed receiver.
Yeah, we mentioned Justin just a minute ago, being a tough receiver, was taking some shots. Matt had a big third down snag conversion against Tioga in week 3, and got drilled across the middle and it was actually out against Leesville the next week with a concussion. But, if he didn't make that catch, we wouldn't have beat Tioga. And he's a big-bodied receiver. That's what it's going to take this week against a physical Ruston defense secondary. I think he had 4 catches for about right around 50 yards or so, I think, including a toe touch catch on the sideline.
Which was huge.
That was NFL good.
Yes, it was.
In high school, you only need 1 foot down, but he had 2 toes down. And he made some good catches, and he's doing a good job. He's a 1-year football player. He's a senior, but he's only played 1 year.
Wow.
He's a good baseball player, and I had no idea he was going to play football until our baseball team was done with the playoffs last year. And all of a sudden, one day in spring training, he's in our equipment room getting pads and a helmet. I said, "You're playing football?" He just said, "Yes, sir." So, all right, suit up.
You'll take that answer.
That's it. Get out there.
Well, Matt Edwards, number 3, a senior wide receiver, and other players this year who have been recognized: Akeem Mix, LaMarcus Thurs, Landon Grimes, Kilmarian Phillips, Aiden Tate, Jacob Miranda, Carter Smith. These are all players who have had impacts on the game that we recognized, and we certainly want to recognize Matt Edwards for his key plays this week. The play of the week, sometimes it's I almost nominated the Justin Rachel catch as a play of the week because
it would have been justified.
It sustained the drive, and I think when you have a toughness like that, your whole team lifts with that. But a lot of times scoring plays end up getting the nod. So our cool play of the game, folks here in the studio, in the audience cannot see it, but it's on the screen for folks. We're inside the 20. Aiden Tate is back, and he finds a receiver, Kilmarian Phillips, who splits the defenders and catches the ball into the end zone for the boom, baby boom, touchdown. What do you think about that?
Well, we joke with Kilmarian this week about how he catches the hard catches, the contested catches where he's about to get hit or in traffic. If he's wide open, that's when you don't want to throw it to him, like on the first series of the game.
I'm glad you said that, not me.
But, we were able to laugh about it a little bit this week, and I asked him, and he just said he got nervous. Again, another little sophomore, and I couldn't imagine being a sophomore trying to do that. I probably would have missed the ball altogether. But he's come along with us, and when he does catch the ball and does get it in his hands, he can do things that that really nobody else on our team can do. He can juke and jive, and he's electric, and we're going to continue to find ways to get him the ball.
Well, when he gets the ball, whether it's receiving, returning, he definitely can do something with it. So
he's exciting to watch.
He is.
And the thing is, you see him before games and after a game, and he's no fear. His stature, he's small in stature, and he's going up against some big guys. And no fear. It's like, hey, here I am, let's go. And, I see him before games, at home, and he's like, Mr. Mandy, he goes, call my name and number. And I said, give me a reason.
Give me a reason.
And he does. I challenge him.
That's great.
and he always does.
Well,
but
these kids are
he's exciting
so
to watch.
fun to watch. This year has been electric, and whether it's the high-speed offense or whether it's I don't know what it is, but you have given the fans something to watch on Friday nights. And this Friday night we'll be traveling up to Ruston, and we're going to talk about that when we come back after these commercials. So stick around. We're going to eat some chicken cracklings while you guys watch some commercials. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Harrell, Certified Residential Appraiser. I am currently a leading provider of appraisal services for mortgage lending, employee relocation, estate planning, and community property settlements. My experience in real estate over the past 13 years and currently serving as president of the Greater Central Louisiana Realtors Association has given me a clear understanding of the real estate world and the ever-changing market we live in today. For any of your valuation needs, give me, Kimberly Harrell, a call.
Are home problems turning your life upside down? Trust Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing to save the day. From keeping you comfortable to plumbing repairs and even generators, we do it all. Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, your one-stop solution for AC, plumbing, and generators. If you need us to save the day for you, call Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing or visit us online at southernairnow.com.
And we welcome you back. If I push the right button, I get it there. There we go. I was getting Bryant Bell on the solo shot. But
don't want that.
It is the Bryant Bell Show, so we could have Bryant Bell solo shot going on. We're glad to be with you here from Quebedeaux Cajun Cafe, where the cracklings are good, the onion rings are good, the iced tea is good, everything is good here at Quebedeaux, and we hope you'll come join us out every Wednesday night at 5:30, where we break down last week's game, talk about next week's game, highlight some of the great players and plays of the week. And this week we are headed on the road up to Ruston, as we mentioned. And so I'm going to throw that schedule on the screen for you, as you noticed before, who we played so far. Going this past week up against West Monroe. This is our final road game of the week. And as we look at other teams that are playing in District 2-5A, Pineville at Ruston, Ash will be at Ouachita, and West Monroe at Neville. And, you know, I don't necessarily expect Ash to have trouble with Ouachita, but I think the West Monroe Neville game is going to be quite a game.
It's going to be a good game. It's going to be a bunch of big boys battling each other in the trenches, that game. I'll say about Ash and Ouachita, I think Ash is one of the best teams in the state, but Ouachita, you can't really look at their record. They can beat anybody in the state. They're dangerous from what I've seen, already on video.
Well, when I look at their losses, 29-27, 21-22, 22-21, 15-13. I mean, they've been in every single game except for the Neville game. I mean, that's very impressive. So I'm sure Thomas Bachman's not going to have his guys thinking they're all that in a bag of Cheetos next week.
They'll be ready to go. They'll be ready to go up there and play a good game. But this district is it's unforgiving week in and week out. You gotta be ready to roll. Every week, as I know that every team in our district is a quality team, and that's us included with them. It's fun. It's fun for the players and for the fans. And maybe not the coaches, but it's what you sign up for. It's why you play the game.
Well, when we look at Ruston, they are 6-2 overall, 1-2 in district, which I'm sure they're not happy about being 1-2, and yet they're still ranked number 6 in the state because of the strength of record and just the performances they put out in both of their losses. And against Neville, they lost 26-21, and against Alexandria, 40-36. What was funny was we finished our game in West Monroe the Ash game was still going. And so I actually flipped over to the 446 channel and gave a little play-by-play on our channel because we wanted to see what was happening, but we didn't want to cut off the air just yet.
Yeah.
And we watched them, stop that drive that Ruston was doing, trying to drive down the field and get back, because that was like a swing seesaw game back and forth. Almost felt like whoever had the ball last might win, but Ash did step up. So we're going to go up against the road to Ruston, and you say they're definitely better than their numbers or their record shows. We don't want to give anything away, but how prepared do you feel like we are against this team?
We're ready. We're ready to go. We've handled our business this week, and I've challenged our players to take care of what we can control, what we can take care of. We can't control how many Division I prospects Ruston has. We can't control their wild and crazy student section that's as raucous as they come, which I think is awesome.
I will tell you, next year, 2 years from now, when we go to West Monroe, I'm setting up on the opposite end of the press box because we were there by the West Monroe band, and they're loud.
Right.
Were they loud to you guys?
I couldn't tell. I couldn't really hear.
That's good.
But that is
good. That seems to be an unfair advantage to put the home band behind the visiting team.
They probably is. I guess they know what they're doing. But
I'm going to throw a flag on that. That's just not fair.
But, yeah, we're ready to go this week. We have tunnel vision, and we'll play one game at a time. You can't help but get better when you play a quality opponent.
No doubt.
And, it's like I've told a coach or two on our staff and our players. I know we've it's a tough go in this district, but if we come out and we make the playoffs, we're going to be a well-tested, seasoned team that's ready to go, and with the right draw could do some damage.
Well, and you don't want to look too far ahead. Playoffs are still 2 weeks away.
Right.
But if it were today, we would be in at like 21.
That's what we're fighting for. Win one of these next two, or win both of them would be great. But even one would be would put us in.
Absolutely.
So that's what we're fighting for.
And the strength of schedule would give you some good points to not to move up a little bit.
We jump. So
the top 8 have a bye. Is that how that works?
Yes.
And then
9
through
and 24. 10, 23.
Yeah.
You do the math from there.
Right.
But, we're playing the game this Friday. It's, we've only got one game. We can't get to, we can't play another one before we play this one. So might as well go ahead and win this one and make it happen.
I like that. Just might as well. Just go ahead and win it.
I like that. Love that attitude.
Absolutely. Let's talk about some of the other games taking place around Central Louisiana this week. We've got 5 on the 446 Sports family. You got Pineville at West Monroe. Ash, of course, is hosting Ruston. Buckeye travels to Marksville. Menard is hosting Church Point, and Tioga will be at Grant. So all 5 of those are on the 446 Sports Network. You can pick up any one of those. Of course, you'll be watching Pineville. We know that. Bolton will be at St. Edmund, trying to get their first win of the season. Grant, we already mentioned them hosting Tioga on the Tioga channel.
Yeah, but that's Thursday night.
That's right. That's Thursday night. Thanks for reminding me of that. And then, which could be a slobber knocker in the rain. 90% chance of rain Thursday night? So that'll be an interesting one, home game for Tioga. At least the field drains well. And then Northwood Lena will be hosting St. Mary's, who I think St. Mary's is actually on the 446 network. I just don't have them flagged that way. And then, of course, Peabody against a team that we know very well, West Ouachita, that they went down from last year, but had been with us for quite a few years. So that's what's going on around the 446 Sports Network, and you can pick up any of those games if you'd like to on YouTube, on X, Twitter, Facebook, or Boxcast TV. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this show, Coach. Some final words to encourage our folks going into battle this weekend. What do is rain expected on Friday?
Maybe a little bit. I haven't looked that much in the future, to be honest with you. I'm going to check on it. Yeah,
last I checked, it was like 30%. It was
right.
90% tomorrow. So
we're gonna, Ruston has turf, so it's turf has made rain sort of obsolete. The technology of turf and the footballs we use and all of it. But hopefully it's not raining. I hate coaching in the rain. But,
it gets everywhere. Everything gets wet.
But we're looking forward to it. And we're well prepared, and we're gonna go play as hard as we always do, and the chips will fall where they will.
Well, thank you so much for putting such a quality team together. We have such admiration for these players. Several of them who are here with us tonight at Quebedeaux's Cajun Cafe every Wednesday night at 5:30. We're here with the Bryant Bell Show. And next week, we're going to have a very special guest. I don't even know if you know about it or not, but Miss Vanessa Sanders is going to be joining us on the air next week as it's senior week, right?
You got to have a rebel mom.
Got to have a rebel mom in for senior week. And you know what I think we're going to find out? She probably knows more about football than Randy and I put together. I got a feeling that's a rebel mom.
Maybe more than the three of us.
That's
All right, so next week, Vanessa Sanders will be our special surprise guest here on the Coach Bryant Bell Show. Thank you for coming out with us this afternoon. Don't forget, Friday night, watch us on 446 Sports. Share it, tag it, let your grandmas and aunts and uncles know that they can watch their favorite players from the Pineville High School Rebel team right here on 446 Sports. Everybody, thank you so much, and we'll see you Friday night.